Welcome back to the deep dive. So today, we are exploring a really incredible story. It's called The Persistent Pace of Shelly the Snail.
It is such a fantastic story.
It totally is. And if you are listening right now, we are so glad you're here with us because our mission today is to head to the Great Summer Race, and we're going to discover, the secret superpowers of moving slowly, making smart choices, and basically just never giving up.
Yeah, which is kind of a wild concept, right? Because we usually think of superpowers as being, super fast or super strong.
Right, exactly. But, okay, let's unpack this because I want you, the listener, to just imagine for a second that you are in a race, right? And you are lined up against the absolute fastest animals in the entire world.
Just standing right there at the starting line with them.
Yeah. I mean, how would that make you feel? Would you be nervous? Would you feel maybe a little bit intimidated?
I know I would be.
Right. Me too. But today we're going to see how sometimes the absolute biggest surprises, they come from the smallest, quietest places.
Spot on. And, before we can really understand how this tiny little snail completely surprised everyone, we have to kind of travel in our minds over to Sunny Meadow.
Oh, yeah, setting the scene.
Exactly. We need to actually meet these racers at the starting line.
So picture this, okay? It is the biggest event of the entire year, the Great Summer Race. Everybody in Sunny Meadow is there, buzzing with excitement.
The energy is just, it's off the charts.
Totally off the charts. And you look at the starting line and you see the competitors. First, there's Flash the rabbit. And he is, he's stretching his long legs, doing little practice hops.
It's getting those muscles warmed up.
Right. And then next to him is Zoom the squirrel. And Zoom is literally just bouncing in place, boing, boing, boing. So much energy.
Too much energy, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he's vibrating. And then, of course, there's Dash the dog. He's wagging his tail, looking super confident, pacing back and forth.
They are all just so ready to sprint.
Exactly. And then, wait, hang on. Then, with a very, very slow slide, here comes tiny Shelly the Snail.
Just sliding right up to the line.
Yep, just sliding up to join them. And the crowd, they blink. They literally do not know what to do with this information.
Right, because, it looks ridiculous to them.
Totally. The squirrel actually giggles out loud, and Flash the rabbit just flat out laughs. He's like, this race is going to be over before she even starts.
Which is, really dismissive.
It is. I mean, if you think about it, these fast animals are basically like revving race cars, right? Vroom, vroom. And little Shelly is over there like a very careful, very tiny tricycle.
That is a great way to picture it, yeah.
But I gotta say, I want to push back on what those animals did. Because, listener, isn't it a bit unkind that they laughed at her? I mean, how do you think that made Shelly feel?
It probably didn't feel great. But what's really amazing is how she handles it. She has this incredibly calm, just solid response.
She doesn't yell at them. Yeah.
No, not at all. She just says, I may be slow, but I don't stop.
Wow. I may be slow, but I don't stop. That is powerful.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I think, for anyone listening, when other people doubt you or maybe they giggle at you because you're doing something differently.
Which happens to all of us.
Exactly. It happens to everyone. But knowing your own strength and just staying completely calm in that moment, that is a true superpower.
I love that. Inner confidence. But, okay, she has this quiet confidence, which is great. But how does that actually hold up when the race begins and these incredibly fast animals literally take off?
Right, because the physical reality of the race is about to hit them.
So the starter yells, "Ready, set, Joe," and whoosh. The rabbit is just a zooming blur. The squirrel is leaping from rock to rock like a ninja.
And the dog is just dashing all the way down the dirt path.
Dust everywhere. And meanwhile, Shelly is just doing her thing, slide, and then another tiny slide, literally one tiny inch at a time.
It's quite the contrast.
It really is. But then there's a twist in the story. Because as the morning goes on, the summer sun gets hotter and hotter.
The environment starts changing.
Exactly. And Flash the rabbit, who is running so fast, suddenly feels completely exhausted. He hops under a big shady tree just to rest his legs.
And Zoom the squirrel does the same thing, right?
Yep. Zoom is like, I'm just going to rest just for a minute. But they are so tired from running in that hot sun that both of them accidentally fall fast asleep.
Just completely out cold.
Out cold, snoring. So, listener, let me ask you, have you ever played so hard outside in the hot summer sun, maybe running around the playground, that you just wanted to flop down in the grass and close your eyes?
Oh, I definitely have. It just hits you all at once.
It totally does. But, I mean, let's look at the animals. Did being super fast actually turn into a disadvantage for them here?
What's fascinating here is that, yes, it absolutely did. The fast animals, they made a really big mistake.
What did they do wrong? They were going so fast.
Right, but they burned up all of their energy all at once. They were just rushing, rushing, rushing without any real focus.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and because they were so focused on just moving their legs as fast as possible, they completely ignored how hot the sun was getting.
So they had speed, but they didn't really have a plan.
Exactly. They were generating so much body heat, plus the heat of the summer sun. Their systems just, well, they basically crashed. They had to power down.
Wow, so they're just snoozing under a tree while the race is still happening.
Yep. Which brings us back to Shelly. Because while these super fast animals are letting the hot environment totally exhaust them, little Shelly does something pretty brilliant.
She uses the environment to her advantage, doesn't she?
She does. While the others are sleeping, she just keeps going.
Slide! Slide!
Exactly. She's not rushing, but crucially, she isn't stopping either. And because she's moving slowly, she has the time to actually notice things.
Like the hot sun.
Yes. She notices the sun is drying up the dirt path.
Yeah.
And she knows a really important piece of snail science. She thinks to herself, snails need moisture to move safely.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Because, listener, think about when you're on a hot playground, right? You need a cool water bottle so you don't get super overheated.
Right, you need to stay hydrated.
But for a snail, it's not just about drinking water, it's about how they move.
Yeah, it's a completely different biological mechanism. Snails actually travel on this layer of, like, slippery mucus. Slime, basically.
The old snail slime.
Exactly. And that slime needs moisture. If the sun bakes the ground totally dry, a snail can't slide. They could get stuck, and it's actually very dangerous for them.
So the hot sun is actually way more dangerous for Shelly than it is for the rabbit.
It is. But Shelly isn't just blindly crawling forward, hoping to the best. She is actively problem-solving.
Oh, I love that. So what's her strategy?
Well, she starts making very smart, safe choices to pace herself. She sees where the shadows are, and she deliberately steers herself to stay in the shade.
Oh, wow. So she's using the shade like a shield from the sun.
Precisely. She protects her moisture by avoiding the hot, baked dirt. She moves steadily, step by step, slide by slide, keeping her body totally safe.
That is so smart. It's not just moving slow for the sake of being slow. It's moving at the exact right speed to actually finish the job safely.
Exactly. Pacing is everything.
So if we look at the race right now, we have these incredibly fast, super athletic animals just snoring loudly under a tree.
Utterly exhausted.
Yeah. And then we have this smart, slow, tiny snail steadily sliding along in the cool shade.
It's a completely flipped scenario from the starting line.
Totally. So what happens when the finish line finally comes into view? Like the race has to end eventually.
Well, near the finish line, the sleeping racers finally wake up.
Oh, man. The panic.
Oh, total panic.
No.
Flash it. The rabbit opens his eyes, looks at the sun, and shouts, "Oh, no."
I can just imagine him jumping straight up in the air.
He does, and they all scramble. They start sprinting as fast as their legs can possibly carry them toward the finish line.
Broom. Dust clouds everywhere again.
But it's too late. Yeah, because right as they are desperately sprinting to catch up, with one final tiny slide,
No.
way.
Yes. Shelly crosses the finish line first.
Wow. The snail won the great summer race.
She did. And the text says the crowd literally gasps. Like everyone is in shock. Dash the dog's jaws is just hanging open.
I mean, their whole understanding how the world works was just flipped upside down. They thought fast always wins.
Exactly. But then Shelly does something really cool. She doesn't brag.
Oh, she doesn't. I would be totally bragging if I beat a rabbit in a race.
I know, right? But she just smiles. And she says these magic words. She says, I didn't win because I was fast. I won because I kept going.
I didn't win because I was fast. I won because I kept going. That gives me goosebumps.
It's a profound lesson. And the other animals actually get it. Flash the rabbit nods and agrees that, yeah, maybe speed really isn't everything.
Even the rabbit admits it.
Yeah. And then Zoom the squirrel, the one who is bouncing off the walls at the start.
Right, Mr. Energy.
He has this really big grown-up word. He says, consistency matters. Consistency. Okay, wait, listener, I want you to imagine cheering super loudly for Shelly right now. Yay, Shelly! Because she earned it. But I also want to unpack that word Zoom used.
It's a very important word.
It is. So if you're a kid playing a game or learning something new, what does consistency actually mean? Because it's a big word.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, consistency is basically the ultimate superpower.
Better than super speed.
Way better. For a young mind, or really anyone, consistency just means doing something steadily, step by step, without giving up.
Even when it feels really hard.
Especially when it feels hard or when it feels like it's taking forever. It's the difference between trying to clean your room by throwing everything into the closet in 5 seconds and then getting exhausted.
Which never works, by the way.
Right, versus just quietly putting one toy away
Yeah.
and then another toy and just keeping at it until the room is clean. Yeah. Consistency beats rushing without focus every single time.
Well, it's like building a muscle, right? Doing it a little bit every day.
Exactly. Shelly didn't take one giant leap to the finish line. She took thousands of tiny, consistent slides.
And from then on, the story tells us she is known as the snail who never gave up.
Which is quite the title to hold.
It really is. So what does this all mean? We started out wondering how a tiny snail could possibly beat the fastest animals in Sunny Meadow.
And it looked like it would take a miracle.
It totally did. But it turns out it wasn't magic. And it wasn't just luck. It was that slow and steady movement combined with making really smart choices, like staying in the shade and just having the determination to not stop.
It's a formula for giant success.
It really is. You don't have to be the fastest or the loudest to win the race. You just have to be the most consistent.
And I think that leads right into a really great question for our listeners to think about today.
Oh, yes. I love leaving them with something to chew on. What's the final thought?
Well, listener, the next time you have a big, tough job to do, maybe it's cleaning up a very messy playroom or learning how to play a really hard new game, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what's your plan?
Will you try to rush through it all at once, like flash the rabbit, and maybe get too tired and just flop on the floor? Or will you use your new Shelly superpower and take it one smart, steady step at a time?
Oh, I'm definitely choosing the Shelly superpower from now on. Slide by slide.
It's definitely the smartest way to go.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Sunny Meadow, listener. Remember to keep going no matter how slow you feel, and we will catch you next time.